I feel like I have a million different sticker books out, but today is one of my patron videos with a theme suggested by a patron, and I will be sending her this beautiful large notebook. This is from Archer and Olive. I grabbed sticker books from everywhere to create this spread, but first, let me show you her notebook because it is one that I've used before. She requested this notebook, and I actually had this one here and had already decorated one spread in it and decided to offer her this one because I honestly don't know what I would use this for. I have a lot of what I call research and development notebooks now. Thank you to Jess Corinne for using that phrase because that's perfect. I have a lot of notebooks that I play with, and then I cannot journal in all of them. So I had created this huge Dutch door spread previously. You can find it on my channel. If I remember, I'll link it in the description, but if I don't, just let me know and I'll put it in. But I had created this one, so Teresa is going to be getting this spread as well as the prompt of her choice after this. And Teresa, it is her second journal that she's receiving from me. She received one 4 months ago, and this is her second time getting one. So that is really fun. Thank you, Teresa, for supporting everything. But okay, I took notes because she gave me a huge challenge. So she wants distress inks. She wants a faux Dutch door as well as regular Dutch doors with windows in it. She wants a beach scene with water, sand, beach chairs, huts, umbrellas, people, lighthouses, bonfires, and a sunset at the end. No flamingos, no floaties. And she's okay with lined boxes. Sometimes I don't know whether to use the lined boxes from the box sticker books. So very helpful to know that she's okay with those. So I kind of drew a little note about what I'm thinking about. And this is going to have quite a few pages because the middle pages are going to be the faux Dutch door. Then we're going to have 2 Dutch doors on each side. But this is a lot to think about. So I have a huge stack of distress inks. And someone was asking the other day about my distress inks and how I store the pads on them. I don't do anything to stick these in, but they stay in pretty well. So I just put them on the underside. They would fall out if I had all of these just out and about. But by putting them into the Distress Ink mini tin case, they stay in really well. But so we've got all those. I've got my little ink pad thing for that. And then I grabbed a ton of sticker books. I don't know quite what we're using yet, but we've got a lot of box options, black and gray boxes, and then summer boxes. Then I have Casthetic Plan sticker book, Keleva Plan sticker book, Planything sticker books, Live Love Posh sticker books. By the way, everything has a link down below to these sites other than Mojo Jojo Plans, and I am an affiliate for everyone except for Mojo. So you can find out any discount codes and links down below if you see something you love. Okay, we have a lot to decide, but the one thing I know is that Teresa, the way that I'm envisioning this, we are not going to do a beach scene at the end. We are going to do it in the middle because it is going to be the inside of the faux Dutch door. So when you open it, it is going to be the sunset scene in there. That's how I see it in my head, and that is what works. We are going to add 2 windows if I can to this. So I need to find some things that I can use as a window before we get started because that is going to be the start of our thing. So what I'm envisioning, just let me talk you through it, is we'll have our faux Dutch door like this. We'll have 2 windows so that we can see into the sunset. So then this is going to be like beach chairs, people sitting, you know, things like that. Then we're going to have 2 Dutch doors on each side with like beach items. And then the very first and last page are going to be the beach scene with like the sand and the waves and making like a scene. And then the sunset is also going to be a scene. So those are going to be the 2 distress ink pages, and then everything else is going to be stickers and stuff. Okay, I need to find some windows that I want to use before we continue. This is my box that I store like window type elements in. So we are going to see what we have. This one would be, these ones are kind of beachy feeling with the light wood color. But what I need to do is try to find some that have similar sizes of the openings. This one would be okay if I just cut off this part, but it is a bit smaller than the others. So, okay, we'll keep these 3 out for now. This one isn't bad. Okay, but they're all different sizes, so I want one for the front and one for the back that kind of are similar sizes. Otherwise, on the back side, I would create a little window with washi tape, but it is easier if I have windows that I don't have to create. Let's see. So on the outside, it would be simpler windows too, ideally, because it's like the outside of the house. But so it might be better to use just like a black washi tape or something anyways. These are doors. Okay, so I guess we're gonna do that and grab a thin washi tape to create like a little window frame from the outside. Oh, this one's a good one. This is Live Love Posh Washi Tape Thin Essentials, and it's got all these like browns, which would actually be really nice for this. All right, so these 2 are similar heights. I think they are the ones to use on this. All right. So, moving things out of the way, we need to start with the sunset page because I need to get the sunset done before I can put in the windows so that I can ink the whole page and then go from there. Okay, so back page, Dutch door page, windows. So I'm just going to fold these right now. It's always scary folding these. I don't want it to go too far in because then it makes it hard to close the page. So that's about as far as I can go. And I'll do the other very similarly. And then it should be nice for closing, as you can see. So this is a big notebook. So before I start, let's just see. Let's give myself a little extra space and move up higher than normal so that I don't accidentally go off the page. All right, so these are going to go somewhere in here. But first, we are going to create the sunset. And so I know I am going to be, after I ink the page, I am going to be using some of these stickers. Not the flamingo, because she said no flamingos, but some of these tones in here feel a little more sunsetty, especially with like this pink background and stuff like that. And I might use this sun on the horizon. So I am going to get a piece of paper so that I can make a flat horizon, have sunset, and have water. Okay? So what we're going to do is like have this like here, and we will ink this part. We'll pull it over here, ink this part, then cover this up so we can do the water, and cover this up so we can do the water. I want to get some sand in here too, though, at the very bottom so that I can have like the palm tree coming up. Or should the palm tree just be like coming up off the page and have this all be water here? Because we will be doing sand on the outer pages. Let's just do all water. That is a little bit simpler. So we'll do it like here. And to do this, let's just grab a little bit of washi tape. Washi tape, I know you could use another kind of tape and stuff, but washi tape typically doesn't pull off the page when you are trying to lift something up. It doesn't like rip the page and stuff, whereas some of the other tapes will. You could also use something like painter's tape, but honestly, I have so much washi tape that this works really well for me. Okay, we are gonna ink this side before getting to the other side. We need to pick out sunset colors. Looking at this, so this just wants to close. Let's see, we will get some kind of yellow. We need our butterfly clip. There we go. Okay, then to go with it for the sunset, let's grab spiced marmalade, abandoned coral, going into like a purple, dusty concord, and a dark blue chipped sapphire. And then around the edge, we'll have just a little bit of gray going in there with the hickory smoke. So these are mini distress inks. You can buy them in 4-packs. I like those because I don't need the large container. You can also buy one-off colors, but they're more expensive. Just so you know. All right. So we'll line it up like this. And this is taped down. And I think for this one, I need to know where I'm going to put the sun so that I can ink it in the right place. I think I'm going to put the sun right here so it's kind of in the center, but I don't have to put it over the crease. So we are going to make it more yellow right there and kind of go out in an arc. And we will get over there and try to merge the 2 pages later. We are just doing this side right now. Distress inks blend pretty well. You can use any ink, any stamping ink. You don't need to use distress ink. I just use distress inks because I got into them a long time ago and I like collecting the set. But there are a lot of different inks you can use. So spiced marmalade is not that different from fossilized amber, so you just need a little bit more ink to kind of pull out the color. And as you see me do this, obviously the camera is going to shake a little because it's on the desk and I'm using a lot of force on this. But 2, you're going to see me going over the part that I already did, like coming in here and going in the middle because I want to blend it. I need to work a little fast in order to blend it, but it makes it look really pretty when you do blend it. Okay, so we are just going through and making this arc outwards of these colors, and we are going to get to the edge. A little bit will get on the spine of the other pages, or the edge of the other pages, but it shouldn't go into the other pages. This happens. Okay, my purple needs to be re-inked a little. I have some of my most used inks. You can buy refill containers of these. Some of my most used inks I have refill containers for. And this Dusty Concord is one that I re-ink quite a bit. It's that, and there's one of the pinks, not this one, but another one that I use a lot, as well as the chipped sapphire. For some reason, I do a lot of sunsets, a lot of like space stuff, and I use up these inks a lot for that stuff. But I can't re-ink them right now because you have to let them sit a little while and let it soak in. So I will be doing that after the video. All right, so you can kind of see the sunset forming. I'm gonna add the hickory smoke over here, and then we'll get to the other side. I may also add some of the black on the very edge because it gets quite dark, and it would be really nice right up here, I think. See, I'm not sure the hickory smoke is quite dark enough. It is a nice gray, but it's not super dark. Okay, let's grab, and this is black soot. I may need to grab new little pads. They're replaceable. And so this one might just need to be replaced soon. It's not sticking as well to the little, whatever you call this. Words are hard sometimes. Oh, that looks so cool. Look at that. Okay. So there we go. And remember, some of this will be cut out with the windows. I'm just not quite sure where the windows are going yet. So that's why I'm inking the whole page, also so that I don't accidentally ink the page behind it. Okay, so we have this one. That looks really cool. And now I need to lay this down and try to line it up as best I can. Okay, and that's coming up a little. Let's get a little more tape and just get down the corner so I don't have to hold it in place. There we go. That's coming up too. It's just a little bit different on this side of the book, I guess, the notebook. By the way, this notebook size, I think it's called the Heirloom something from Archer and Olive, and this is the only cover they have of it right now. I hope they come out with more because it's a really cool size. Okay, so the sun's like this, so we're just gonna go like that to kind of finish it, and I'm gonna try to get in the middle there as much as I can. Just like that. We're gonna have less of the color on this side and then more of the dark stuff just because of where I've put the sun. Also, my hands are gonna be inked for this video and maybe for the next video. It sometimes doesn't come off very easily, even with a couple of washes. Takes, you know, like a day. Kind of like Sharpie or something sometimes. By the way, as I do this, it is our first rainy day in a really long time. And I'm in Seattle, guys. So June, July, like it's some of our best times of year. And it's been so nice lately. But I have to say, when I saw the rain this morning, it's such a nice little reprieve. I absolutely love it. All right. This one definitely needs to be re-inked, but this is the last bit of this one that I need to do. I want to get it a little darker right here, so we'll just do a few extra bits. There we go. We'll need a little bit on the water because we will be making the sunset match down here. We'll have to get the water down first and then get a little bit of color in it. It looks super cool when you do it. So Teresa, this definitely is a major challenge this time, and I am here for it. I love the prompts that my patrons have been giving me lately. People at the top tier get a custom journal spread every 4 months, and they get to pick out the journal, and I buy it and send it to them after decorating at least one spread. And it's just really fun, and they tell me what they want, and it gives me things to do that I wouldn't have thought of otherwise. And it's just a really fun little challenge. So thank you, Teresa, for this challenge, because this one is quite detailed. It is super fun. Okay, moving this up. It wants to slide with me having this book open like this, but we will try our best. And we are going to get some of the extra black soot on this one, but I see that it's moving a little because of the way the book is. So I'm actually going to put, there's my son. I am going to put this right here and another one right there just to protect that part of the page. There we go. There, now you can see it. It keeps sliding. Sorry, guys. We'll get through this part really quickly. We'll turn it this way, actually. That'll be easier. Okay, I think we're good on this. Let's turn it this way. Okay. Do you see this sunset? How fun is this? Okay. We will have to put some boxes in here and make it functional and all that, but we are just getting the base of it down. Okay, so next up, what we do, let's use the other side because it's a nice straight line. This is kind of a little messy now. So where did the little tape go that I was using? I'll use another one. I can probably move the other tapes actually. Not on this paper. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get the water in and then create the little sunset scene. So what I'm going to do is pick out a watercolor. And see, I'm letting there be a thin line of color here because if I don't, then I might accidentally do too little and then you'll have a gap. So I'd rather have it go over something twice rather than do it too much. I'm going to do Blueprint Sketch. I love using Mermaid Lagoon for water, like daytime water, but that's going to be a little too bright for with a sunset. So we're going to do this one, and it is also going to be like pretty bright, not like dark, but then we're going to add in the sun. Someone commented the other day that they missed the sound of my kids in my videos. There you go. over the summer you'll hear them more. Just, you know, kids getting older. One's school age, the other we're working on getting into a more full-time preschool so I can get more work done as this business grows. So thank you for watching. Thank you for using my links. Thanks for supporting. It's amazing. So we're just doing this kind of all one color, other than the little sun thing that we're going to create here once we've done both sides. And I'm going to add a little black soot around the edge like we did up here, just to show again, you know, it's kind of night, it's darker away from the sun. So we're just going to start here with the darkest and blend it out. Blend it out this way too. There. Okay. And then we'll pick this up and move it to the other side and do the same thing. And again, looking for a tiny bit of that color to be popping out so that I don't have any white gap between the two sections. And this is just going to be another one of those long videos. The prompts from my patrons are so fun, but they're getting more detailed. Instead of like, I like pink and blues and purples, it's or a specific flower or something. It's very detailed and it's fun. It gets my creative brain going. But the videos also will be longer, which is okay. I'm happy with it. And I know some of you guys love those longer videos too. Maybe just not every day, right? All right. We'll see how much ink we can get on that first page. I need to see how all the Dutch doors turn out for what I decide to do with inks on those front pages. I have a couple different ideas in my head, and I don't want to talk about the ideas yet until I figure this out. We're going from the inside out today. Okay, a little bit of the black soot, and then we're ready to create the reflection of the sun, which is a cool little technique. All right. All right, so this is a fun technique for the sun. I've only done this a couple of times and it looks really cool. Okay, so we're gonna move this out. We don't need that anymore, but we're gonna go one color at a time. And instead of doing it flat like that, you are gonna use the edge. Man, my fingers are dirty. We'll get a baby wipe in a minute. You're gonna use the edge like this, pick up some ink on that side, and kind of use it like a paintbrush and go across the page like this. And we're gonna be doing the yellow down the middle, and it takes a little bit of time because you can't do it as hard, and you're doing little bits. So you can see a little bit of that yellow kind of like on like a wave pattern. And you still see the blue through it. I think that's enough yellow. I think we'll skip the spiced marmalade because it's very similar to this. We're just going to go into the abandoned coral. And then we'll get some of the purple in there. Okay, edge. And I'm going to take this one over here. It'll go over the yellow a little bit, but also just be out to the edges from where the yellow is. And this one's not as pigmented on the blue, so I'm gonna go over it a few more times. Again, just using that little edge creates a really cool effect. All right, so that's super light in there with the spiced marmalade, but that is okay. And then we're gonna do the Dusty Concord. I'm not gonna do the blue because honestly, blue on blue is not gonna do too much. Okay, this one I'm gonna put to the side a little bit. When the ink pads get older, they scrunch up a little bit. So it's probably time to replace this too. And it's harder and harder to see the specific lines with these darker colors versus the yellow. So I'm actually, I think, gonna bring some of the yellow out with these as well, but it does just add a little bit of texture to the water right here, which is super cool. All right, we'll add a little bit more yellow. Then we'll grab a baby wipe for my fingers to just help it a little bit. Even if you don't have kids, baby wipes are extremely useful little tools to keep in your craft room for quick cleanup. If you get ink on the table, if you, need to clean your hands quickly, any of that. All right, there we go. What do you think of that sunset? All right, we are gonna put all the inks away because I'm trying to do a better job of cleaning up in the moment. Also, this one goes over there. Okay. I tend to get done with videos and then go off to do something else and completely leave everything, and then next time I come to sit at the table, it's like a mess. So I'm trying to be better at that. All right. We may use some of this in a minute for sand or daytime, but we might not. It depends on how the Dutch doors look. So what we're gonna do is put the windows on this side so that we can see some of the sunset. These are the two we're gonna use. This one is slightly wider, which means we'll see more of the sunset if we put it right here. And I want to see a little bit of the water too. So I'm going to put it like this. There's going to be a little bit more space here. That's great. I'm going to grab a pencil and just lightly outline this and cut about a box wider than this because it opens. So I want to cut all the way around the actual piece. So we need to cut at least there. Okay, so here is my cutting mat. I got this from Journal Say, and I usually use my gyro cut for curvy things. What I need is just a cutting knife that I can try to keep straight. Let's get a ruler. This one I actually want to be like all the way straight if I can. So we're gonna do it out a little bit and start right here. Go down to there. Okay, this is gonna be cool. There's a little bit of sunset right there. So when we look, we're gonna see all of that. Look how cool that is. All right, so let's get this one down. So this is a sticker, and I don't want to take off the sticker backing of the flap, just so the flaps can stick up a little bit. So I am gonna add a line here so that we can just take off the sticker backing of the actual window frame and not the windows. Now I need to actually peel it. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I try to put it down and then it jumps. Look how cute that is, and then the window's open. So that's pretty cool. Then we've got this whole section. So what we're gonna do is take one of these tapes. I like the dark brown, and we are just going to create a window. And I think we will do the middle thing as well. But first, let's just create this part of the frame. So I'm giving it extra length right now, and you'll see why in a second. Okay, we go right there. Okay. So to make it look really like a window frame, we take our X-Acto knife and do like an angled cut, like you know, right down the center of it, and pick up these two pieces if I can pick them up. And then you have a little frame. That one was not straight at all. That was like an S, but it'll still do the same thing because you're cutting the two layers at once, so they should be equal. Yeah. Okay, I just ripped a tiny bit of the ink there, so we'll either put something there or re-ink that spot in a little bit. But we are continuing with what we're doing. Okay, so this is a little bit wider than that, but I think it's okay. I don't think it's gonna impede anything. Those doors are there. So it's not gonna like stick to the next page or anything. Okay, we're going with it. Actually, we are going to, I gave it a little extra space on this, so we're gonna pick this up and lay it back down a little bit higher. There we go. So there's our window frame. There. Look at that. Okay, let's go ahead and put the sun right in here before we get to this window, because I just want to see what it looks like. Okay, so what we're gonna need to do is trim off part of it. Scissors. Like that. And no matter where the window is, this needs to be centered with this shape. So it is gonna go right there. So we are gonna see part of it in here. Does that make sense? Okay. Now this one, I want to be similar to this one with where it is here. I think it'll look best if it's more lined up like that. And then up a little, okay. So this is that inner line that we need to make sure we're cutting with. And this, I'm just gonna make a straight line for the ease of putting the tape down. Okay, let's make it straight. We'll do it here. Oh my gosh, I cannot cut a straight line. We will fix that up. Even with a ruler, I can't cut a straight line. Luckily, we're gonna be using washi tape on it, so it should all be okay. Right, there's a little bit of fuzz that got there. I guess I didn't cut through all the way right there. There we go. By the way, some of this I'll probably do and speed up later since you're familiar with my Dutch door process, because we're not about to have an 1.5 hour long video. An hour's kind of, oh, that's upside down. An hour's kind of my max. So I think once we finish these doors, I'm gonna decorate a bit without talking through it and then voice over important parts. But just so you know, that's gonna be happening. Let's get this frame done. And we are gonna layer a couple pieces of tape to make it all fit. Okay, then we are gonna trim part of this from the other side because of the shape of the window. But first we're gonna get this shape all done. And we're gonna need to double layer the washi tape in the middle because the frame right there is just a little bit wider than the washi tape, and I don't want to see the white. Oh, that one fits pretty perfectly. I think I'm okay with just the one there. Okay. So this one I'm just doing a little bit differently because there are so many little pieces. If they're just all sitting there and we can keep it look like a square, it doesn't need to have the window cuts perfectly, like the sideways things and everything. So this is 2 different ways that you can do that. right, this is looking so cool, you guys. Teresa, I hope you're loving this. By the way, everyone wished Teresa a happy birthday. It was her birthday month. And because she lives somewhere without water and beaches and all that kind of stuff, she wanted me to make her a beach scene. So that's where this all came from. I didn't mention that part yet. Okay, just one little tiny thing that I see right here. I think I already trimmed it. I just didn't pick up that tiny piece. There we go. Okay, so these are our windows. Look how great they are. We just need to do this little thing. Okay, so you see how they go over this right here? We're just gonna cut that out. And then cut the other side, and then we'll go into the sort of little sped up section so that we can get the rest of this done. That looks so cool. All right, so even speeding this section up to 300%, this video is still over an hour long. So there's no way that I can voice over everything, so I'm also gonna add some nice music. But first, I wanted to use some stickers in here and kind of create a scene in the middle. Now, it can be journaled over. All of this is light enough that the distress inks can be written over, but it also could just be a nice decorative moment in the middle. So I'll leave it up to Teresa to what she wants to do here. But I put in a few stickers. All these stickers are from Play Anything, from all the various summer books that I've received over the past 3 years or so. So I just started pulling palm trees and looking for stickers that really fit with the distress inks. I couldn't use anything too light like that sailboat from earlier because it wouldn't have shown up well. I thought about putting a house in, decided it looked out of place, then grabbed some other sticker books. This one's from Aesthetic Plans, and this sailboat worked pretty well. So now I have a little sticker peeking through each window. All right, it's time to work on the rest of the spread. I grabbed all these blue tapes from Play Anything. I also have stickers from Live Love Posh that have kind of summery vibes. And so I was looking through all of them to find which ones I really wanted. This wasn't going to be like a huge, cohesive, like picture all the way through. We were going to have some collage stuff and all this other stuff in there, the washi tapes to kind of designate between pages. But it is a cohesive design and it's a fun scene, even though there's like these split moments in it. The tape, I think, really helps pull it all together. It makes it so you can see the border of where the pages are. By the way, anything I discuss here, if I have an affiliate link or code to save you some money, it's all listed down below. So make sure you check that out if you see anything you love. This Live Love Posh sticker book has some really great kind of beachy stickers with the lounging and the girls and the swimsuits and all that stuff. I thought it would be fun to have a collage because I couldn't make an actual like room or pool out here. So I figured a collage was the way to go on this page to bring it all together. And I love the greens in there and the light pinks. I just think it looks super cool. After looking through the sticker books again, I decided on using some of the Aesthetic Plan stickers. I really liked that long strip there, but I only had 2 of them and I needed 4 of them if I was going to make it symmetrical on both sides. So instead, I decided to go with singular stickers that I could use with washi tapes to make a couple of Dutch door pages sticking out. So this picnic blanket was super cute and I went for some blue washi tape. And so you've seen me do this before where I put down the washi on top and then trim it all out. So I'm going to use my gyro cut to trim around the sticker here, use scissors to cut the straight parts, and then again trim the piece of the washi that's going over the sticker to take that off. Now you could put the washi tape under the sticker. That will work when you're using paper stickers, but because this is a clear sticker, I would see the washi tape through the sticker, and then it would be a little bit distracting and take from the image on the sticker. So we trim that up on the clear stickers so that it's not providing any distraction. So this is harder here because I don't have the perfect sticker for the back of the Dutch door. So I have to make stuff up and figure it out. So I just went with what kind of looked similar and, you know, trying to fit things in to make a little scene. So you'll see me trying a few different things here, and I end up having to put a couple of stickers together to make it work out exactly perfectly. So we've got this lighthouse that kind of sticks up there. It doesn't fill everything there, but it does a pretty good job. And then I ended up putting in a little beach scene. Sorry for my head getting in the way. I was leaning, trying to get really close to figure out exactly where I was going. But we'll put in this beach scene. I'm going to trim off the little edges that went over, and I think that will look pretty good. We'll cover up the straight line later on the edge right there, because I don't love the look of the straight line, but it'll all come together, I promise. So I really like the lighthouse with the little scene. It's super fun. These clear stickers, while you do have to cut around the washi tape, the clear stickers are really great for layering and making little scenes all come together. So I really do love the clear stickers for that. Now my favorite, side note, is the PET tapes, because those typically are more pigmented and they're not see-through, or they're not as see-through. So the washi tape thing doesn't matter, and you can layer things over each other really well, and make these nice big scenes without the white border on paper stickers, but without having to, you know, cut all that washi and stuff like that. But that was just a random side note. Anyways, this was one Dutch door page. That's what it looks like. We're going to do another right here to get a second one. And so I'm laying down yet again another sticker and another piece of washi tape, and we're just going to continue this process a few times on both sides of the faux Dutch doors that we've created in the middle of the spread. All right, you guys, now that we've got those Dutch doors done, we are going to be doing the front and the back page. And because we put a sunset scene in the middle, I thought it would be really fun to put in a daytime beach scene on the front and the back page. These do require a little bit more work because we're gonna have wavy sand. So first, I had to lean over and do all sorts of stuff to try to make the place where the sky is gonna go. And first choosing post-it notes, it was not working. So I grabbed the piece of paper that I'd been using and laid that down with washi tape again to make the little line. And so that is the line of where the sky is gonna be, and we're doing blue because daytime now, not sunset. So just a nice blue so that we can get a nice, you know, kind of sunny day. So we're going to be doing that, and then I'll show you in a second how I cut the paper and lay down the paper to make a kind of hilly beach. It's actually not that hard to do. All you need is a piece of paper. You cut a wavy line into it, and you have to use one side on at one point and then the other side on the next part so you can cover up everything. Do one as water, one as sand, and it turns out really cool. So anyways, this is just the really quick sky. It's not totally blended in, not totally pigmented everywhere, because I think it gives it a little bit of like a very light cloudy look. Anyways, here's where I made the wave and the wavy hill, I should say, and I'm putting down some tape so that it can hold down. I am using Post-its there so that I don't get any ink on the bottom of the page, on the next page down. But now we're creating the sand, so I chose two colors. I think one was Tattered Rose, and then the other was Antique Linen, perhaps. But I'm just, like I did with the sunset, I'm kind of drawing these lines across to just give it a little bit of texture on the beach. You could also grab some markers and put little dots, like little sand dots all over the place, if you wanted to go into that level of detail. I didn't, but you could also do that. So here I am doing this. So I used this top page for these sections, and then I'm going to grab the other half that I cut and line it up, covering up the sand so that we can do the water section. We'll also have to cover up the sky so that we so that we don't accidentally get any of the sky messed up with the blue for the water. I decided on one color all the way across for the water, and then right at the edge where the water meets the sky, I add another color to try to make you see the skyline where the water meets the sky much, much more clearly, and I think it worked pretty well. I think that looks so cool, and it does kind of look like some clouds up there, and I just think it's fun. Again, I grab out my stickers and try to start playing with things to see what'll work. Some stickers, again, are way too light to use on those blue clouds and things. The sun was almost perfect, but not quite. So I actually added a little bit of yellow underneath it because that way you could see the sun better and not so much cloud behind it. Again, clear sticker. But then a lot of these stickers you can use on white paper, but don't look great on the blue. So I did a lot more stickers on the sandy part, which is a lot lighter than I did in the sea itself. Though you'll see in a minute that I did put a few boats in there. I also did decide that it was a perfect place to put in some girls from Live Love Posh. So I pulled up that palm tree and put down a girl instead. I thought that it made it just look a lot more real having some people in there. And I decided to put a dog in with her because I had a dog sticker and it was super cute. I have no clue if Teresa has pets or likes pets or anything, but went with it. Thought it was a cute addition to it. Oh, and because there wasn't a lot going on in the blue, I found some floral stickers that I thought would still look pretty cool, even with the blues coming out behind it. So I decided to put those down to kind of just frame the spread a little bit. I didn't have like birds or, other things that I could put down there. So I thought it would just help frame everything a little bit. And then I found a couple of boats that would help fill the scene in the water area. After finishing all the decorative stuff, you guys know I always put down a couple of boxes. I use these to highlight the day with like my favorite moment of the day, the most memorable thing that happened that day. That could be something in my life. That could be something that happened to my kids. That could be something in current events. I like to highlight things in those and then free write outside of it. So Teresa mentioned she doesn't mind lined boxes, which I always have a lot of because I don't use them. So I decided to use some of those for her, as well as some other plain boxes. Now, all these stickers for the boxes are from Mojo Jojo Plans. She has a ton of box stickers, so go ahead and check her out. I usually layer 2 to 3 boxes together to make a little box scene, and then after that, I like to layer 1 or 2 decorative stickers down with it to just bring a little of the decoration into the journaling page. So you'll see me doing all of that here. And here is the finished spread with everything and how it looks from the front to the back. I love it. Anyways, I hope Teresa loves it, and thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.